Hi, I'm a former security guard who worked for UCPD Berkeley, and I hope this video will be one more piece to the puzzle regarding what really happened during the January 6th attack while Yogananda Pittman was in office. For those who aren't aware, she is currently the police chief of UCPD Berkeley and formerly served as the chief of the Capitol Hill Police. She was one of the leaders during the attack who was accused of not sharing the intelligence the department needed to be prepared for the event. I'm creating this video to present a possible explanation for Yogananda Pittman's decisions during January 6. Based on how Pittman was running UCPD Berkeley and her actions during my employment at the department, I suspect she had economic interest in not sharing the intelligence she was supposed to share with the individuals who needed to know. I suspect this economic interest for multiple reasons, such as wage theft at UCPD Berkeley, misuse of official employee and government documents, and utilizing a program that UCPD Berkeley runs to deceive and receive funds from various sources, including government agencies. Let's start with wage theft and how I found out that this was occurring. I decided to leave the department in June 2024 because I no longer felt safe working there after reporting a concern to an outside authority on campus. I won't delve into the details of what happened or the technical aspects of my employment termination in this video, as I want to keep my message simple. To keep this brief, a few days after I left, I discovered that I had lost my benefits, and in my own words, I was cheated out of employment and was fired. So I reviewed documents I already had with UCPD Berkeley to determine what to do next. I went through the union contract and found that many parts of it were breached. Later, I looked at my pay stubs, bank statements, and payroll records, and the numbers did not match. The salaries recorded on my pay stubs do not match the amounts I was receiving in my bank account. I emailed Yogananda Pittman 8 times requesting my overtime time cards and never received a response from her. In all those emails I sent her, I also had the entire chain of command CC'd, meaning they were copied and they received the same email she did. So finally, the sergeant responds to me saying in his own words, "We do not retain the ETRs of separated employees." For clarification, an ETR stands for Exceptional Time Report, and it's a form given to security guards at UCPD Berkeley to record their overtime hours worked and submit it to their supervisors for approval and payment. Technically, because the department was using ETR forms as a timekeeping tool, ETRs are time cards, and in California it's illegal not to keep accurate records of the hours your employees worked. Since UCPD Berkeley had me walk out with nothing to sign and nothing to keep, again, I emailed Pittman 8 times directly to send me my complete employee file, which I expected to contain all my documents from the time I was hired to the time I left. And here's where I discovered that the department was misusing official documents. Again, Pittman did not respond, but a lieutenant outside the chain of command emailed me instead, with Pittman CC'd stating that they had attached a file containing a few of my employment documents that they were authorized to share with me. And good thing I had antivirus software installed on my laptop because the file contained malware. When I reviewed these documents, I decided to examine my hiring documents and found additional suspicious documents like 2 offer letters. The department provided me with 2 offer letters, each containing different information, where I had to sign one electronically and the other by hand. I don't remember what made me upload the hand-signed letter to my laptop, but I'm glad I did, because when I requested my employee file from HR, they sent me the electronically signed offer letter and not the hand-signed one. From there, I began piecing together and identifying more instances of misused official documents. Based on what I have discovered so far, the documents are leading me to believe and suspect that the department had me as a peace officer in California when I was not. 3 documents in the infected file they sent me are certificates showing that I completed online training that involves credit with the California Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training. I do not have an account with this agency, and I have never had any business with them. When I was given my uniform, I was also given a badge to wear that was exactly like the police officers, but silver in color. When I re-examined the union contract, I discovered that I was under the same contract as the custodial staff, as shown on the official UC University website. All this leads me to believe that UCPD Berkeley is misclassifying its security guards for financial gain. There's a document called the State Oath and Patent Acknowledgement that I signed when I was hired, which I'm positive UCPD Berkeley is misusing, as it disappeared from my DocuSign account when I rechecked it to download it. HR and Pittman didn't send me this document when I requested my employee file from them. For those unfamiliar with DocuSign, it's a platform that enables individuals and organizations to sign, send, and manage documents electronically. Since I pieced all these things together, I began to suspect that UCPD Berkeley was misrepresenting itself on documents to receive funds from government agencies. One agency I suspect is FEMA, which stands for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, an agency under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. When I was newly hired, one of the supervisors took me to the report writing room in the department and asked me to urgently complete 3 online training courses by the end of the day, as they were a requirement. After completing the training, I was given 3 FEMA certificates. Since so much time has passed since I received these certificates, I forgot about them. About 2 years later, I discovered them stored on my laptop, and I found that the statements on the certificates were not true. I also believe something similar is happening with the Federal Department of Education. I'm aware that universities receive federal funding from the Department of Education under specific guidelines, one of which is to report crimes known as Clery crimes. Based on how the department was run, UCPD Berkeley was not accurately reporting Clery crimes. In 2023, one of my co-workers, who was also a security guard, shared with me that he had been working there for 10 years and had never submitted a report, nor had he ever been told anything individually by anyone. During my 2-year employment with the department as a security guard, it was extremely common for security guards not to submit a report after their shift ended. This indicates to me that UCPD Berkeley has been drastically underreporting Clery crimes since 2013. I reported this to the Department of Education last year, and the matter is still under investigation. There's a former police officer who worked for the Capitol Hill Police during the January 6th attack, who came forward and accused Yogananda Pittman of intentionally not reporting information she should have reported that could have prevented the attack on January 6th, and I believe him. I attached a link to a video of him being interviewed in the description down below. On June 1, 2024, a UCPD Berkeley police car was set on fire. 2 months earlier, in April 2024, while patrolling the site where I worked, I saw a basketball-sized paper roll burning outside, which I noted and reported to my supervisors. Before the UCPD Berkeley police car was set on fire in June 2024, multiple arson cases were happening on campus and around the city for a while, which I later found out that the FBI was investigating based on a news article I was reading in June 2024. I believe my supervisors and Yogananda Pittman intentionally did not report the arson incident that occurred on my shift in April 2024. I once asked my direct supervisor if he had reported the incident, and he did not respond to my email, which was already an angry email about the payroll system not working. I never found out if the person who set the small fire outside my site was the same person who lit the car on fire, and this isn't the point. The reason I'm mentioning this story is to illustrate that Yogananda Pittman intentionally overlooks potentially hazardous or dangerous situations and takes no action to address them. For example, before I left the department, one of my co-workers had issues with his radio, and the supervisors would not replace it for him. If he doesn't have his radio at the highest volume, he wouldn't receive traffic. Under the previous chief, I received an email from the supervisor stating that if any of the security guards had issues with their radios, we should inform the supervisors immediately so that they could be replaced and fixed. Under Pittman's administration, the supervisor told my co-worker that there might be something in the building's concrete. They had him walk around with a malfunctioning radio for at least 4 months, and my co-worker did bring this up to them more than once. Another example is the master key for the site where I worked. I notified my supervisors that we need a new key because there are doors that I'm unable to lock and unlock, and I have reported this issue many times along with my co-worker. The master key was never replaced. If the site caught on fire, there are rooms I would not be able to unlock to get people out if they were stuck inside. Apart from radios and keys, I also reported many times malfunctioning fire alarms that were never repaired. There were fire extinguishers that required maintenance but never got maintained. I recall a fire extinguisher that I reported 26 times and nothing was done. Did Pittman learn her lesson after January 6? It doesn't look like it. Why do I suspect the arson incident that occurred on my shift in April 2024 was intentionally never reported? Because individuals running the security program, including Yogananda Pittman, do not want to draw attention to the security guards and the security program, which evidently indicates that individuals are profiting from it. I not only think that the January 6th attack was intentionally left to unfold the way it did, but unfortunately, I suspect there's a network of people profiting off of the tragedy. It's been exactly a year and 3 months since I left UCPD Berkeley, and have been targeted by many law enforcement agencies and fire departments across the Bay Area for reporting what I've been discovering about UCPD Berkeley. Interestingly, I'm also targeted by private security companies and private ambulance companies, which I later found have contracts with the government. They harass me with their emergency lights and sirens everywhere I go in the Bay Area and the many homes I've lived in for the past year and 3 months. The situation has become so ridiculous that I would email Pittman at her UC Berkeley email, telling her my exact location, and people from the police and fire departments would show up where I am. Sometimes they would activate their sirens, other times not, while they drove by me. Yogananda Pittman and the people she works with directly at other police departments are very open about illegally tracking and surveilling me. It's not a secret. They also don't mind letting me know that they're watching me in the bathroom. I share this experience not only to share, but to show that there's a chance that there are individuals and agencies outside the Capitol Hill Police who are profiting from the January 6th attack. Honestly, I even think that a decent amount of government resources can potentially be recovered if the January 6th attack were to be re-examined closely. If you watched this far, thank you so much. If you experienced the January 6th attack yourself and would like to learn more about the story, please feel free to contact me at the email provided in the description below. Everything I mentioned in this video was documented, including emails and videos. For everyone else, feel free to contact me at the same email address provided below.